Hello and welcome to NAFDAC and Your Health. This is the program where NAFDAC, the agency saddled with the responsibility of safeguarding the health of Nigerians, intimates you on her activities. I am Okpejemi Urimolade, your host. On today's episode of NAFDAC and Your Health, we will be looking at the dangers of falsified and substandard pharmaceutical products. We will also be x-raying the efforts of NAFDAC under the leadership of Professor Mojisola Adeyeye to mitigate and possibly totally eradicate the menace constituted by falsified and substandard pharmaceutical products. And then we will go on to trace the trajectory of the recent proactive approach taken by NAFDAC to put a final end to the issue of open drug markets across the country and, by extension, the dangers posed by the phenomenon. The consciousness that substandard, falsified, and unapproved drugs are capable of wreaking monumental havoc is among the reasons that NAFDAC, as the agency charged with the mandate to regulate food, drugs, and other products, will never relent in exerting concerted efforts in being at alert at all times to ensure that drugs made available for purchase are genuine and of good quality.
The quality of medicine is why NAFDAC exists. The quality, the wholesomeness of food is why NAFDAC exists. Bad medicines have killed thousands or millions in this country. Bad food, the same. So I take it personally because you just don't know when you will be the one taking it yourself. You go to a party, the food is loaded with so many bad things. Sometimes you eat it and you get home, you start feeling one thing or the other. Or you are so ill, suddenly you go to a pharmacy setting. You have to go to a place where has the pharmacy sign, the RX. If you go to the corner store, you don't know what you are going to get. But even in the pharmacy store, sometimes they will put bad medicines rather than good ones. Bad quality medicine have killed so many people. So I take quality of medicine very, very seriously. Medicine is supposed to make us better, not to kill us. The investigation and enforcement, they go on big rates through intelligence gathering. We destroy so much product that sometimes I wonder, people should get it, that they are losing money by doing bad medicines or bad food and whatnot.
It is this premium that Professor Mojisola Adeyeye places on the delivery of standard drugs to the Nigerian public. In her capacity as the Director-General of NAFDAC, that made her put every necessary machinery in motion to ensure that the Nigerian society is rid of substandard and falsified drugs. This has seen the investigation and enforcement team of NAFDAC raiding markets, shops, and every nook and cranny where drugs that could be injurious to public health are sold. This is usually done after detailed surveillance. The persistence and recalcitrance of the drug sellers, particularly in open markets, which is not supposed to be the practice, prompted the initiative that drugs coordinated wholesale centers be established in the major cities where drugs are sold. Kano took the lead in this direction, and a coordinated wholesale center was established and commissioned in February 2023 under the administration of the former governor of Kano State, Dr. Umar Abdullahi Ganduje. The center is an ultra-modern center that is believed to be a safe haven for quality pharmaceutical products.
NAFDAC is mandated to control and regulate the importation, exportation, manufacture, distribution, sale and use, advertisement of course, sale and use of medicines. What we do every day is to ensure that the drugs that you buy are of quality. We have gadgets that we identify drugs that are counterfeited, that are fake or falsified. We should be very happy today. We should be very happy that the medicines that we're going to be using in Kano are medicines that are supposed to make us better. Kano has become a model for Onitsha, for Lagos, and for Aba.
The NAFDAC DG also went on to address a press conference afterwards, emphasizing the necessity of the coordinated wholesale centers and the trajectory that led to the initiative.
This disorderly chain of movement of medicines in the supply chain from the manufacturer to the final consumer is inimical to the efficacy of pharmaceutical products and is the primary cause for substandard falsified medicines in circulation. The consequence of this is treatment failure or even deaths. Therefore, to make Nigerians healthier and reduce mortality, NAFDAC and our sister agency PCN must continue to fight against substandard falsified medicines. The fight started decades ago when the Presidential Committee on Pharmaceutical Sector Reform, constituted in 2003, developed strategies towards the sanitization of the drug distribution in Nigeria. The coordinated wholesale centers where the open marketers can be relocated for proper monitoring is a product of this pharmaceutical sector reform. The coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Adeyeye, is one of the architects of the CWC back then and was in full support of the centers. The sector recommended the development of national drug distribution guidelines as a key strategy to coordinate the drug distribution subsector and all operators in the open drug markets in Kano, in Lagos, Onitsha, and Aba.
You've been watching NAFDAC and Your Health. The program returns after this short break.
Substandard, falsified, and counterfeit medicine is a threat to maternal and child health. NAFDAC, in its commitment to prevent maternal death and drastically reduce child morbidity, advises healthcare providers to ensure that quality, safe, and efficacious medicines registered by NAFDAC and properly stored are used. NAFDAC requires that registered medicines must have NAFDAC registration number, batch number, manufacturer's name and actual location address, manufacturing date, expiry date, and scratch and test for anti-malaria and antibiotic medicines. NAFDAC advises the general public to purchase medicines from registered pharmaceutical retail outlets as prescribed by the healthcare providers. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Welcome back. You're tuned to NAFDAC in Your Health. Anticipation we're on that other states where drugs are sold in the open markets will have coordinated wholesale centers established there, and there was a regulation that the sale of drugs in the open markets should cease. In spite of this, the operation of the open drug markets in the major cities of Lagos, Aba, and Onitsha continued unabated, and the practice continued to put the health of Nigerians in great jeopardy. At this juncture, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye resolved to once and for all employ the harsh tactic that the occasion demanded to save Nigerians from avoidable critical health risks and untimely deaths. And so, on the 9th of February, NAFDAC launched an unprecedented massive raid of the open drug markets across the country. Professor Mojisola Adeyeye herself took the lead in the leap, followed by a large number of the men of the investigation and enforcement unit of our agency and a good number of armed security operatives, and the Dumota market was besieged. Drug shops were combed and quite alarming discoveries and seizures were made.
You and I matter. We are not just
individuals that can be killed immediately because of bad medicine. And we have to be very, very sensitive about this. All of us must know that the medicine you use must make you well. If it's not making you well, call NAFDAC. Get a receipt from where you bought it, or get a sample of that medicine. We will track it. We will trace it. So this gathering is important for us as a country. It's important for us because medicines are supposed to make you better. If you have hypertension and you're supposed to be using medicine, that medicine is supposed to keep your blood pressure level. It's not supposed to kill you. But if it's bad medicine, it will kill you. If it is bad medicine, it will kill a child. And many people have died in this country because of bad medicine, but enough is enough. Enough is enough for us to allow ourselves to be killed and die prematurely.
The NAFDAC Director of Investigation and Enforcement, Pharmacist Shaba Mohammed, spoke about the process followed by the NAFDAC team in carrying out the raid.
We got all suspected violated products, put them on inventory, put them in the bags provided, label them according to the shops that we have worked on, issue invitation letter to the owners of those premises. Apart from the shops, on top of the shops, you have the warehouses where most of these products are stored. So some of them are distantly located. So they are identified, and the officers or the operatives go there, search them, and the items that will be removed are removed, and they are taken to the trucks that are provided, for taking them to the warehouse.
The raids were simultaneous, as the high-powered NAFDAC team was slugging it out with the open drug market operators in Idumota. The case was the same in the southeastern states of Anambra and Abia. The Director-General had given stern directives, and there was no going back. The wand of NAFDAC also descended on the operators of open drug markets at Bridgehead Market, as well as Eziubu and Ariara markets.
You can see this pack. It is already labeled. The Diazepam tablets with manufacture date already and expiry date already stamped on an empty, sealed container, waiting for this kind of products to be put inside and be sold to unsuspecting members of the public. This is disheartening. This is because we cannot guarantee what's inside here that will not be labeled as diazepam. I can imagine somebody buying this and thinking they have bought diazepam, and then we'll talk about treatment failures. I will talk about medicines not working. These are part of the major problem.
There were attempts to induce the staff of NAFDAC, but those who took such steps only got themselves into deeper troubles. The drive to sanitize the Nigerian drug market is a task that must be decisively accomplished. Apart from the markets, there was also the discovery of a warehouse in Umumeje village, Isisiomangwa local government area of Abia State, where huge piles of expired and unapproved drugs were stored. Revalidation of expired drugs was also being done in the premises. There, arrests were also made and the premises sealed. While the raid operations were still ongoing, the NAFDAC DG went on to address a press conference at the State House to give updates of the huge discoveries and the dangers that dealers in substandard and falsified drugs were putting the country into.
The Office of the National Security Advisor played the most significant or vital role in this collaboration by coordinating the military, police, and DSS to participate and to provide security for the operation, while NAFDAC planned with the security agencies on the closure of the markets. The simultaneous and coordinated closure of the 3 markets is considered the largest operation carried out by NAFDAC in the history of the agency. And it is to ensure full control of the enforcement operation and to prevent concealment
and escape of any product from any open drug market to the other. NAFDAC deployed human and material resources to achieve the success recorded during the operation.
In spite of the sleepless nights and the tireless efforts of NAFDAC DG and her staff across the country during the operation, there were outcries from some quarters that NAFDAC was hindering trade. Some, particularly in the southeast, even tried to attach a tribal undertone to the raid. At this time, the warehouses of NAFDAC had been filled to full capacity with confiscated substandard, falsified, and unapproved drugs that would have exposed the lives of Nigerians to danger. The NAFDAC DG, seeing the alarming volume of the seized goods while on the tour of one of the warehouses, could not but address the narrative that NAFDAC was disturbing trade and emphasized the need to protect lives.
We are not disturbing trade. We are protecting lives. We are protecting our young people from becoming useless. We are in Onitsha as we speak, and they are telling us that we are disturbing trade. We are going to where drug shops are not. 3 years ago, we went to the plumbing section at the Onitsha Head Bridge with police. They almost killed our staff and police. They overwhelmed us because after intelligence reports that many of these drugs are being kept in sections that are not for drugs, we know that we couldn't go there ourselves. That's why we called NSA. We have 1,000 forces working with us, 400 in Onitsha, 350 in Aba, and 250 here in Idumota. We are not disturbing trade. If you see what we are seeing now, you will weep for our country.
The NAFDAC DG enumerated the various offenses that constituted the violation of NAFDAC rules.
Bad ventilation in terms of storage practice, with no provision for rectification, environmental sanitary conditions very bad. We have found vaccines that are not supposed to be stored outside the refrigerator. We have found controlled substances. We have found condoms that are supposed to have been destroyed since 2022. Yes. We have found products, USAID products, antiretrovirals for free use. We have found them in the market. So just name them. We have found them. Tramadol, Analgin. Analgin has been banned in Nigeria before my time. We found loads of Analgin. Not just one box, 2 boxes. Like container loads of Analgin. How did they get into the country? And we have found products, of course, most of these products are expired or registered. We have found machines that they are using to change the dates. Drugs that are supposed to have expired 2022 or 2023, they will change it to 2028, and people will keep not getting well. That's why we are doing what we are doing. This room is filled to the brim, and this is just a tip of the iceberg in terms of what we are seeing. Just to let you know that we've just got to sanitize. We need to sanitize the drug distribution in Nigeria. This is not the way it's supposed to be in the world. What is happening now cannot happen, has never happened in any part of the world.
As it is in the practice of NAFDAC, as these goods have been evacuated from the market, the next step is to have them destroyed. The destruction exercise of the goods seized from the Idumota open drug market took place at the Lapite dump site, Akinyele, Ibadan, in the presence of relevant stakeholders, security operatives, and pressmen. Speaking through Mrs. Yedoni Adenuga, the NAFDAC Director, Narcotics and Controlled Substances, who represented her at the destruction exercise, the NAFDAC DG gave the street value of the drugs being destroyed at the Lapite dump site.
Today, you are witnessing the destruction of expired, falsified, controlled, unregistered and banned medicines removed from Idumota open drug outlets. The estimated street value of these products being destroyed stands at 100 billion naira. During the 3 weeks exercise, several suspects were apprehended. Further investigation is being carried out. Those found culpable will be sanctioned.
Also speaking at the Lapitedom site, the NAFDAC Director of Investigation and Enforcement, Pharmacist Shaba Mohammed, reiterated that the open drug markets are illegal.
Those markets are illegal. According to the Federal Tax Force Law C-34, drugs are not to be sold in marketplaces. In moving vehicles, they are not supposed to be hawked or even in canoes. But the market, open drug markets, have become the mainstay of 80% of the drug supply in the country, which is an anomaly.
Similarly, of the substandard and falsified drugs confiscated in the southeast were destroyed in Enugu. The drugs valued at 2.5 billion naira was destroyed at the Enugu State Waste Management Authority dump site, Ogonyema, Enugu State. Speaking through pharmacist Martins Iluyomade, the Zonal Director of the Southeast Zone, the NAFDAC Director-General, restated NAFDAC's commitment to ensuring households can purchase only genuine and wholesome products without fear of fake products.
Had treated drinks. So the discovery has been awesome, and we've seen that we have a preponderance of substandard things in circulation that we need to mop up, and we will not rest on our horse until all of this is mopped up.
The NAFDAC DG added that the bone products would have increased the health burden of the already stretched health institutions in the country. For Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, the war against substandard and falsified drugs is a relentless one. Of course, NAFDAC has always triumphed over those involved in the heinous act of endangering the lives of Nigerians for selfish gains. And the momentum will not decrease. The health and lives of Nigerians must be protected at all times. That is the mandate of NAFDAC, and that the agency under the leadership of Professor Mojisola Adeyeye will always strive to fulfill. That has been our package for you on this episode of NAFDAC and Your Health. We will return next week with another insightful episode. Meanwhile, you can help NAFDAC in our efforts to keep Nigerians healthy by sending in your comments, complaints, or reports and observations on the activities of peddlers of NAFDAC-regulated products.
You can reach NAFDAC via toll-free numbers. For inquiries, call 0700 162 3322. For complaints, call 0800 162 3322. You may also email NAFDAC at nafdac.gov.ng. If you have complaints about any form of misconduct, you can reach the Reforms Unit via email reforms@nafdac.gov.ng or call the Reforms hotlines on 0909 763 0506 or 0909 763 0507. NAFDAC, customer focused, agency minded.
Before I go, let me remind you that it is criminal to import, produce, advertise, distribute or sell fake or unapproved food products, drugs, cosmetics and chemicals. As you abstain from these acts, also endeavor to report any such activity in your area. Let's join hands to eradicate these life-threatening ventures. Till we meet again next week, stay healthy.